Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP, but we're also going to talk about energy and how misleading our media is here in the US. Because a few weeks ago, it was Climate Week. I remember seeing on the news where they're telling us we need to shut down our air conditioners for a certain part of the day. Don't drive your car unless it's absolutely necessary. The rest of the world is outpacing us as far as going green. So let's take a look at what's really going on. We're fooling ourselves too by offshoring everything, in particular manufacturing. Look how green we are, ignoring the fact many of our daily essentials are made in the Far East in coal-powered factories and shipped halfway across the world. And again, while we're over here going green on the planet, on the other side of the same exact planet, it's business as usual in certain countries. For all intents and purposes, almost the entire increase in coal production in Germany was in the form of increase in export, where a large part of that was for France. So in essence, German coal increase is actually France's coal increase, who effectively exported emissions. And again, they're going to need it because they're in an energy crisis. These people have to stay warm. You can't have people dying for going green. Come on. So how much do you want? India's bad boys reopen 100 coal mines as demand skyrockets. And I believe that demand is going to continue to skyrocket throughout the winter. But the one thing I want to point out here is I believe this is going against the New World Order. Remember, we just seen the World Economic Forum rush to get carbon credits and crypto tied together. Everybody talking about how Energy Web Token is all of a sudden going to make a huge difference in the world. Eventually, it most likely will, but that takes time. Everything takes time. You can't turn off one energy source without having another energy source in place. Germany has more coal under its ground than South Africa. Now, here's the thing. Look at the United States. I believe most people are going to head back to coal most likely this winter, because I believe we're headed into an energy crisis also. Germany is importing coal from South Africa, which is ironic because just 1 year ago, Germany gave South Africa $810 million in exchange for an agreement that South Africa not use coal. So the irony of that is these are the same people going around preaching that the whole entire planet has to go green with nothing in place, and it's backfiring, causing energy crisis. And at the UN climate talks in Scotland last fall, the UN created a special CGI dinosaur to warn all nations, but particularly Africans, that they must not use fossil fuels and instead do what Europe was doing and supposedly transitioning away from fossil fuels to renewables. We need to immediately expand the use of nuclear power and natural gas to prevent the burning of garbage, wood, and coal. In response, Germany and Belgium announced the continued operation of nuclear plants and the restarting of closed ones because they don't want to freeze to death, and I don't blame them. And again, I believe climate change and a lot of this going green that they're pushing is all about controlling us, the New World Order, but it looks like it might be backfiring now. Here in Canada, we're exporting massive amounts of coal to China, then complaining bitterly how CO2 from China keeps rising. And again, even if you're exporting that coal, you're still going against going green because the country you're exporting to is definitely going to use what you're sending to them. U.S. coal prices top $200 as global energy desperation grows before winter. And I do believe a lot of people in the U.S. will end up back using coal at some point. U.S. power sector emissions have fallen just 1% so far this year, despite a surge of new renewable energy development. Why? A boom in new natural gas production is offsetting those gains. Globally, a resurgence in coal is causing a similar change or trend. And that's the case. So all this work that they just done for how long now is all backfiring. And our news media here is saying, you need to shut off your air conditioner because you're harming the planet. You need to stop driving your car because you're harming the planet. We see state after state moving to EV vehicles, all part of this new world agenda that I believe is now starting to collapse. So let's continue. Important week ahead. So now we're going to talk a little bit about crypto and what I see coming. Incoming volatility. Get ready. PPI, Fed meeting, CPI, jobless claims, retail claims, consumer sentiment. And again, depending on what the Fed says on Thursday, we'll see how the market moves after that. Hopefully XRP holds up very well because I see us continuing upward against Bitcoin, and that's a very good thing. It's all fake news with speculation only. Bitcoin going down without any rescue. That's true. And from now on, you can only observe how this massive inflation will kill crypto. But I think they're wrong. I think what's happening is actually these countries, as they pull away from the US dollar, I think crypto and stocks are going to start really taking off. And we talked about that in previous videos because that's exactly what happens. I showed you through history, every time the dollar fell, we went on a bull run. And Bitcoin would rise also if that was to happen. My guess is that within 5 years, the US dollar will be gone and will be replaced by CBDCs as inflation skyrockets to levels never seen before. Crypto regulations will be absolutely stifling in the US because the government will want people to be stuck using CBDCs. Buckle up. Now, as regulations come and as CBDCs go live, we're all going to be tied to a CBDC throughout the entire world. There's no escaping it. People that think that they're going to be able to use Bitcoin as an alternative, they're absolutely wrong. There's also maxis out there, Bitcoin maxis, that believe Bitcoin's going to run this whole new financial system, which is absolutely ludicrous at this point because we already know XRP is going to be used as the trust layer for on-demand liquidity. Inflation so bad that even the Dollar Tree lost its peg to the dollar. I had to show this because this was really ironic on what's truly going on in the world. Now, here's the thing. We're seeing this inflation, and people are saying, I believe inflation is finally topping, but yet the Fed says there has to be much more pain first, which I believe inflation's going to continue upward. I plan on just continuing to buy crypto because at some point I know crypto is going to go off. It's going to be life-changing for a lot of people. Inflation is not a natural phenomenon. It's a mechanism to keep us, taxpayers, running on the wheel, getting nowhere. Every time there is inflation, banks and their sidekicks, governments, cover their interests, not yours. Crypto solves this. And that's the thing. A lot of people keep saying, well, Bitcoin is the hedge against inflation, but it hasn't been working out that way at all. First, the value of the dollar needs to fall. And when that happens, that's when Bitcoin would hedge against inflation. While the dollar's still very strong, crypto will not truly rise. We won't go into that full-blown bull run that we're all expecting. But I do see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel also. I mean, there's a lot of big things coming up for XRP holders. I believe that settlement can happen anytime, even as soon as this week. A lot of people are saying November, but I believe it's going to happen much sooner. The world is changing very fast. We all see it. It's not the same world it was just as soon as 10 years ago. We're starting to see how they're purposely collapsing everything because they want that great reset. But the thing is, people are starting to get smart to it now also. People are starting to see through all of their bullshit. And as that continues, people will definitely fight back against it. Now we're starting to see countries fight back against it. They're no longer worried about going green. They're worried about freezing this winter. And that's good. Those countries need to keep their citizens safe. I say it all the time. People don't need to die for this. They don't need to die for a new world order to come in and take control over all of us. I believe we should continue to fight against it as much as we can and prevail in the end. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.